Sorry about that. The video ended right there. Let's start a new. The videos end in about an hour. They last about an hour each, so I have to start a new one every time if I want to continue hanging out with you guys. Just a second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Sí, ese caballito tiene que terminar algún día. Gracias. Thank you, everybody, so much. That other video ended. The videos are ending on me. I think they last about an hour here on Instagram. So I have to end them in about an hour. Or they end. I don't end them. They end by themselves. They're meanie like that. They're meanie weenies. Okay, so let's do a little crane right here. So people have been asking me about my cranes. They're like, what's up with your cranes? I'm like, well, here we go. A little marshland, no? Let's do a little marshland right here. I just want to thank everybody who continues to bid on my work on eBay. Thank you so much. People that continue to purchase my work either on eBay or Etsy or eBay or Cherish, all those places where I sell my work. I really appreciate everybody who continues to purchase my work. I've been saying this every day of the week. You're not just buying my work at this point. You're helping me keep things going and definitely food on the table for me and my family. So thank you so much for that. It's a huge honor to be able to continue to serve you guys. I do change my brushes depending on what I'm doing. I try not to. Look, this is what I use the toilet paper for. Oh, just a second. Sorry about that, guys. Got a phone call from my wife. She's getting me some food. Own 12 of my paintings. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Valenzuela. Thank you. Mrs. I apologize. Thank you so much. So here's what I do. Check it out. This is what I use the toilet paper for. You guys are awesome, by the way. Thank you. So this is how I clean the brush. Rather than washing it every time, I'm always doing this. I'm always cleaning it like that. That's just basically what I do. And then pow, baby, I go back into it. Like uno vata loco. That's how I do it. Okay. So last night my wife and I were watching Richie. We're watching La Bamba. I don't know why. I think she just felt nostalgic. She's like my little Mexican American heart is telling me to watch La Bamba right now. It's like let's go, let's do it. So we were watching La Bamba. I forgot how what an asshole Bob was. Does anybody have a Bob in your family? Anybody have a Bob? Come on, let's be honest. Somebody has a Bob somewhere. Bob was mean. Forgot how mean he was. Now, for those of you who don't have a Bob, be careful. You might be the Bob and don't know it yet. Oh man, just joking. But I do realize that movie was pretty cool. I've had Bobs in my family from time to time. Sorry, bros, if you're listening. But yeah, I like the movie. It's like, Richie. I really love the scene with the Mexican shaman. That's a great scene. I thought it was really cool. When he tells him that life, he got all deep with him, right? Because he's a shaman, right? And he's like, to be alive, to be alive is to die, and basically that you're in we're all in a sleep life form. We're sleeping right now. We're not alive yet. It was really cool. Anyways, that got too deep, but it was really cool. I really liked it. It was like, Richie, and then I was like, oh Donna, oh Donna. And then, you know what people do, right? When we're watching a movie, you want to find out what the real characters look like. And man, Richie looked like he was 40 when he was like 17. People back in the day, they looked older, I think, huh? Or is it just, am I just making stuff up? I have no idea, I'm just saying. Thank you, muchas gracias, muchas gracias. And so let's put some in this marshland. Remember, it's a marshland, okay? So what I want to do is not lose the bird in all this mumbo jumbo that I'm doing right here. I don't want to lose the bird. I want to be very careful not to lose the bird right here. So my colors have to help keep that bird not from being lost. This is why some people sometimes ask, they're like, why is the pink in there? Because I want to create a line between the green and the bird. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, the Native American pieces. I feel so pulled towards that subject matter. It's just, you know, the whole culture is just wonderful. It's beautiful. I've been reading a little bit about some of the history, and a lot of it very sad for what happened, and keeps happening to a lot of Native Americans, and it's just I feel very drawn to you know, learning more about the subject matter, learning more about the work, learning more about the culture. And yeah, and I want to be able to, of course, to do it in the most original and respectful way, and so there's a lot of learning. I have a big learning curve to do. I have a very big learning curve to do. Look at that. I had a girl, and Donna was her name. Dun, 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 dun. Look at that. Mucho bueno. Now I'm going to change the brush to a bigger one, okay? This is a number 12. I was using a number 10 flat brush. Yeah, it's oil. It's oil. For those of you, I'm Spanglishing right here because some people speak Spanish, and why not? Some people speak Portuguese here, and I have to say a couple of words in Portuguese too. Man, I had to start learning some languages. I need to get that Rosetta Stone out, baby. It's like I'm gonna Rosetta my way out of this. So when I was a kid, one of my on my father's side, which is really weird because my dad grew up, and I say it's really weird. because my dad grew up like a like muy macho, you know. He was a rancher in Mexico, and his brother is a priest, and I think he's a priest from that, if I'm not mistaken, from a French order by a priest named Lefebvre or something like that. Anyways, he's a priest in Mexico, and he still does masses. The mass he still orders or ordains, or I don't know what the word is, in Latin. Still gives masses in Latin. And when I was a kid, they used to make me read Latin, right? Too, you know. Padres, Filis. And anyways, so it was so cool because, well, it was cool for me, right, as a kid. Because I was studying theology. And I was like, hell yeah, I got this Latin thing down. and the more I tried learning about Latin and whatnot, as I started growing up, I was like, oh shit, this is a dead language. You know, nobody speaks Latin. So I never learned the language, but I did get into it. Let's see, love your work. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Nail Girl 65. Thank you, molti grazie. Oil acrylics, oils. All of these paintings are oils. How's it going, Stebonix? Do you ever do underpainting? Very curious to know. I see so many doing one before. I used to, long time ago. I try not to underpaint anymore. I just don't. There's a couple of reasons why, but the main one is I find it a waste of time. And I don't mean this in a you know, I don't know. There's something about underpainting that just rubs me the wrong way. But I might go back into it just to explore some themes that I'm working on. But yeah. And some people don't underpaint. Some people tint the canvas, and I can do with a little bit of that too. Some people call tinting the canvas underpainting as well. I think it's a form of underpainting. And for those of you who don't know, it's basically when you get a canvas. Tinting a canvas is when you get a canvas, I don't know, like this, right? And let me demonstrate. And you do something like, I don't know, I want to make that my background. And then you can do it with a brush, or you could do it with a rag. And basically you get a rag, you get some oil, and you do this. Okay? And you can do it that light, or you could do it darker. It doesn't matter how you do it. All depends on you, or different colors. And then you start painting over that. And that's the magic that a lot of artists out there use. Marek says, how can you tell that the painting is completed? It's just a little feeling. When you're painting, you're like, enough is enough. And then poof, you have a little feeling. You get a little feeling. Nail Girl says, thank you for your answer. Curious to know why people do and some don't. Yeah. Tienes referencia, estás improvisando. Most of the time I'm improvising, but I do use reference. A lot of reference. My references are my own drawings that I've created over the years. They're sketches that I do. And I basically save them in files, and I just upload them on my computer, and then I just use them. But yeah, I do use reference, but I wing it. You know, I Captain Jack Sparrow my way through a painting. I just like to wing it. It's just kind of the way that I do it. Here, let's do another one. Right here, I have a. By the way, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for kicking it here with me. This painting is going to be also on eBay, and the auction starting at 99 cents. For those of you who don't know, I'm crazy like that. I auction my work for very little, next to nothing. It just makes sense to me to do it that way. Okay, so here we go. This is gonna be a tree trunk, okay? Kind of like a sort of like a putrefied tree trunk, maybe. I don't know. We're gonna wing it. I like tree trunks, especially the putrefied ones, because they look like they're dancing. You know, they look kind of like Squidwards, like contemporary, like modern dance. The Squidward, hey Squidward, they do kind of look like Squidward. Like they're trees are interesting. They're a little pretentious. You know, they're like, look at me, look how I dance. Where do you live? I live in the U.S. of A, in the Arizona state. I am originally from Mexico. I was born in Mexico. I'm 100% muy mexicano. And then my parents were like, we're moving to the U.S. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. Let's go. And now here I am. Look at that. See, trees are a little bit pretentious. You know, they do this dance thing. And you just kind of have to go with it. They're almost like ballet dancers. This little guy's doing the nutcracker right here. Look at this. He's doing the splits like Jean-Claude Van Damme. All right, there we go. When it comes to colors, do you rely on your picture reference or nope? I don't rely on the picture reference. I try not to at all, and there's a reason for it. It gets old very fast. When you're painting and you're using references, unless you're just doing one little painting every blue moon, then that's fine. But if you're painting like me, it gets old right away. So I have to keep it fresh, and so a lot. That's why I tell you guys that I wing it so much, because if I don't, I'd go bananas, because you run out of references very fast as an artist. The single biggest thing that an artist has, the single biggest problem, it's not inspiration. It's none of that. It's reference. Reference is the single biggest problem. The second single biggest problem, or single biggest, I don't think it would be single this time, because if it's the second one, right? The second biggest problem would be not believing in your own work and overcompensating when you're painting, so it holds you back. It doesn't let you create work. That happens a lot. True story. I'm telling you. Take it from moi. So I'm telling you, look, trees are extremely pretentious. If trees were alive, they'd be like art curators or something. I mean, alive, yeah, they're alive, but you know what I mean. They'd be art curators. They're like, I'm an art curator. Or their names would be Squidwards instead of trees. Can you show us what the palette looks like? Absolutely. Mucho bueno. Look at this. So it's a table. It's a tempered glass table. I got soft mixing white, phthalo blue, viridian hue, pale yellow. These are CADs, okay? This is a CAD yellow. That's a CAD red, deep red. That's a dioxin purple. And this is a magenta. Oh, and this is Mars black. Why? Because it stays super black. I like it. I sometimes have visions as I paint, or my work asks to go to certain ways. Does that happen to you? Yeah, it does happen to me. It's a very common thing. I don't want to undermine what you're saying, but I'm saying it's a very common thing amongst artists. It happens to musicians. It happens to painters, sculptors. It's almost like the work is asking you to go a certain direction. It leads you. You're kind of, if you understand your role as an artist very well, I think that you understand that you're the servant of the art. You're not the artist. You're more like a servant. You're helping it realize itself. And so you're moving towards it. You're moving where it wants to go. It's not like a horse where you have your hands on the reins and all this power is going there. That's I think that's more like inspiration or us. But the art itself is it has a life of its own, and it doesn't really need much of your direction. It is the director. The art is the director. You're kind of following along. So it's more like we are the horses, and the art is sort of driving us. I get poetic, huh? Like a channel, yeah, there you go. So what I do is that I change the brushes depending on the area. For example, this area is pretty big, so I'm using this wider brush. But as the areas get smaller, I try, okay? I don't always succeed, but I try to change the brush. Like here, I'm gonna start pushing it, so I'm like, okay, time to change the brush. And so I go to our number 10. And I try not to go to like teeny tiny brushes because I'm not a realist painter. My thing is not being a representational painter. My thing is expressionism. Maybe a little bit of impressionist, a little bit of Faubism in there, and all those isms in there. But I'm not a realist painter because I just don't have the patience to make one painting every week. That's just not my deal. But check it out. Look at that. And then at this point in the painting, I mean, one can go really, really local, right? You can go really bananas if you want to, and it just depends on the artist, So some of the things that I like to do is get a very, very thin brush and now start, and always choosing a different birthplace, right? What I mean is I don't go back to the same places because I'm not trying to, again, it's not realism, right? So I look for a different place. You see? Every place is slightly different. And it brings a different opportunity to express something different. If it makes any sense. So there it is. Thank you so much, everybody. My name is Jose Trujillo. I'm an artist. Here's my signature. This painting will also be auctioned on eBay, and the auction will start at 99 cents. I appreciate it very much. This is an 11 by 14 inches oil on canvas, on stretch canvas. You can see the little right there. It's a thin profile. It's not too thick. It's suitable for framing. As a matter of fact, it looks best when it's framed. Thank you so much. Makes me think I can do it. Of course you can do it. I love that. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody. I will have to charge my phone, and I'll come back with you guys in a couple, I don't know, maybe an hour or so. Take care, and talk to you soon. Thank you so much.